And this interview is going to be in Swedish. I'm just kidding. Hallelujah.
The answer in Finnish, only in Finnish.
Yeah, but no. Yeah, kiitos. Hi, Tuula and Tuukka. Welcome to Design and Dessert. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you.
And how are you?
Good, thanks.
And thanks for having us.
Oh, you're welcome, kiitos. How's your Swedish?
Min svenska går helt bra.
And Tuukka?
Maybe inte så mycket.
That's okay, we'll keep it in English. We're here now at the new showroom in Stockholm, and we're looking at these things that's above us. You're a Finnish and also now Swedish lamp company. What's the story behind this lamp company?
The story behind the lamp company is actually goes back to early, maybe 2000 and I would say 2004 when we met first time with Tuukka. It was Tom Dixon at Habitat who introduced us, and then next time when we met Tuukka, he had made his beautiful lamp installation, which he showed in Milan. And a couple of years later, 2009, we saw his first Pilke signature piece in a design exhibition in Helsinki, Design Forum Finland. And it was this design, but a little bit smaller. And we means me and my business partner Leena, immediately fell in love with that piece. And we tried to convince Tuukka that this is going to be our first lighting collection. Isn't it? It took him a couple of nights maybe to sleep it over and think about it. And then we finally got there.
That's a good introduction. I'm keeping the microphone now, so yeah. And okay.
Yeah.
No, you behaved well. It was nice. I think the lamps are fantastic because they're very iconic. I mean, immediately when you've seen it, you know you're going to recognize it somewhere else, and it's uncopyable because it has a unique shape. Tuukka, you made this.
Yeah, and well, how it started actually was from something quite opposite. I was in my dad's summer place in eastern Finland, and there was this very traditional 1950s wooden lamp. We call it in Finland like a onion lamp. And it's kind of ugly as it gets. But
Google, because I did that when I was before this meeting. Google veneer lamps 1960s. Then you'll see it.
Yeah. And the one thing I did like was this kind of a glow coming through the wood, which, okay, very retro, but got me thinking, okay, what if you modernize this? What if you take the wood and this ambience or atmosphere, what it creates, but create something for more today? And then I started to play with it, and yeah, this is the result then.
It's like Finnish Lego.
Except that Lego pieces went together immediately, and with this one I was fighting quite a lot. First it was with computer, then it was cardboard models, but once we got to plywood, it kind of reacts very differently. So it was very,
Is it difficult to make, Tuula?
Yes. If we ask you to assemble it, you will hate it, and you go back to Legos.
Because it looks very intricate, and it's just said layers and layers and stuff. And how long does it take to make a lamp?
It first took Tuukka 4 hours because he made the first pieces, and today there is a very skillful team making it. I don't know exactly, but it's minutes rather than. So it's not a long time anymore, and one person can assemble one lamp now, even the large ones. First, we needed 2 people to do it. So it's developing, and there are very skillful people doing it for us.
Very nice. What kind of desserts would this be? If this was a cake. Because it looks like a cake too, don't it?
Yeah, if it were a cake, I would say that this one is the cone cake.
A cone cake? Yeah.
But put the other way down. Yeah.
What's a cake which looks simple but it's really difficult to make?
Yeah. I think it's like crusts and stuff as well. Don't you think so? Yeah, because it has a sharpness with the roundness. It's like hard. Yeah. Like in Swedish, because you have your daughter in Lund, spettekaka.
I have to ask to get that.
It tastes like shit, so don't.
Okay.
But it looks nice.
Maybe I still try, because I think you have to try things.
Exactly. So we're now in Stockholm, and you're here to celebrate collaboration with a Swedish company. And what's that? How come you're working with Swedes?
Well, that's a good question. We don't really understand it yet ourselves. It's a good story, though. Christian resolved to contact with us. I think he had seen us or met us at trade fairs, maybe here in Stockholm, and then he called us, and we had long discussions, maybe 1.5 years we did back and forth, and found a lot of common, like local production and good values for us, at least, we think. And then little by little we realized that there might be even more than just diskutera. And finally he suggested that he could, instead of first taking or suggesting buying one brand from us, which was different, closer to May's own products, he would also be interested in Pilke.
I think it's a good match because
Last year we did that deal.
when are you going to launch like new things under this joint label?
We are working on it already. So we.
Can you give a hint?
I can give a hint, and maybe Tuukka can give a hint. It will be partly when we talk about signature collection, which is always made by or designed by Tuukka. We make bigger and bigger pieces, not huge, but still larger, especially for contract markets, for architects. And then we have been discussing for a long time totally different materials, not always plywood, but totally different angle to approach the design. And maybe you have some better hint.
What would you want to do with a new collaboration?
Well, I mean, at the moment what we're discussing is, for example, we did just a version which was a large floor lamp.
Yeah.
And looking at the things on the floor, then start to play with it, and with using the same structure to make a sofa table with a glass top, so you see the structure underneath. And there was some really nice kind of ideas coming through, but again needs to make it work. So with the massive glass. So yeah, that's what we're working on at the moment.
Are they nice to you, the Swedes? Is it like a culture clash, or what's happening?
Yeah.
I would expect you to say yes, because you're now at their office. So.
I would say that it's really nice to be around. And here we have a young dynamic team, and we are still learning to know each other. Because of COVID we couldn't meet, and now we I think I have met everyone in the team, and I'm very happy to work with them. And
what's the biggest difference between a Finnish and a Swedish company?
It's maybe the biggest difference for me is the same as in general. It's that we just do it, and you talk about it first. Wrong.
We have meetings about doing things.
Yeah, we had a lot of meetings with Christian. Long meetings, but it's good. Then maybe you think it over, thoroughly, and you get the best solution.
And now there was a learning with, starting with the video, these Zoom links, because of COVID. So it was strange, like the other way around, like a lot of video meetings, and took a long time before we actually could meet each other.
Yeah.
So.
But Tuukka, what do you do else than lamps? I mean, you don't only do lamps. Or that's the only thing you do.
Well, at the moment, it's nowadays I do, but I used to design furniture and also other pieces. And in my previous life, I worked for Habitat as a design manager, which was all kinds of everything inside a home. But that was different. It was definitely like a domestic home, not contract market.
Right. Do you prefer making things for the domestic market or the contract market? Is there like a difference? The quality is of course a difference, because it needs to be durable when you talk about contract, but I mean otherwise.
There is a difference, and I do like domestic side of it, but I wouldn't count the other one out, but they are very different.
Do we have enough lamps, Tuula?
Lamps?
Yeah, at home.
No, we don't.
Buy some lamps here.
Yeah, that also, but seriously, I don't think we have, because you should really think about your room and the space and your needs, and not only have the one focal lights on the center of the room. You should think about maybe working in the room first, and then relaxing afterwards, and you need different spaces and lighting for that.
Now, one thing that you can take from this interview, what should you add? I mean, is it like because when I think about my apartment that I have, I don't have a house. Well, I do have a summer house, but I think that I would add like corner lamps, because I think that the corners are kind of dark, and that would be sort of like softening my room. Or do you have any other suggestions of how to work with lamps?
I would also add more removable lamps like floor lamps and table lamps, or even we have a table lamp that can also be placed on the floor. So lamps that can be used in different ways, just to give the flexibility.
And what about new technology then? Do you add that? I mean, because there's been talk when the LED came, there was sort of like cold and everything. There must be new evolution items in the whole lighting industry constantly.
Yeah, and I think it's well, there's at the moment huge transition happening, and it's a very messed up situation. You know, a lot of technologies can be bought, and with everybody with their own remote controls or apps, and so in the end you end up having a nightmare in your room with forgetting like which app did control what. So it is a bit tricky area, but
that's for now. That's going to pass, don't you think? In 5 years' time, it's going to be like a standard.
Hopefully, but
He sounds skeptical.
Yeah, no. When we were last time in Frankfurt Fair, you know, looking at how many different options there were, I don't see the standard really close. So we'll see.
I do.
Maybe you know more.
I do know more. No, really. Well, speaking about fairs, you said that you met Christian and Lotta at fairs, and I've met you at fairs. I've seen you at Light and Building, and mainly in Frankfurt, I think. And Eurolucia and Stockholm. Did you do Paris as well?
We have been doing Paris in past, but not recently.
Why? I mean, are fairs still important?
Yes, I think so. They have been important for introducing newness, but also for, I think, mostly meeting people, meeting customers, meeting new customers, meeting people in the industry. It's very important to meet face to face. So, or for me at least, I just need that for.
And even if there is online shops, there's still people running it. So you need to establish communication with them. So.
But on the other hand, maybe the concept of different trade fairs could be changing also. We already participated in a trade fair that was virtual.
Okay.
And
which one?
It was the one in London. Sorry, I don't remember the name of it now. But
Clerkenwell was.
Yeah, it was that one. Yeah, so that was very well, and we got like 100 professional contacts, and then afterwards we could still continue the discussion with those people, and it was really good. But it hasn't replaced the meeting face to face.
I think that online technology is going to take over. I think that we are dinosaurs.
Yeah, you're probably right, because and it's not necessary to have the trade fairs, but it's something that it's fun to have. Maybe there is a change that you focus in a couple of ones instead of going around from country to country.
So we've been talking now for 13 minutes, and we only had one question about dessert. So we have 1 more minute to talk about dessert, and we should do that. Let's say I would come to your house, Tuula, and to your house, Tuukka, and you would compete and do dessert for me. What would you do, Tuula?
I would do. It's actually not much to do, but I would give you something that is my favorite, just for you to try. It's wild cloudberries with a cloud of whipped cream.
Damn, now you won.
What would you do?
Much cake. That's with ice cream. So
I don't eat dessert, so you both won. It just gives us a reason to talk about things that are like different. So you're a cloudberry person and you're a mud cake person. So that gives people the impression. I think we forgot to do a proper introduction, but Tuula, you're the owner and founder of the brand. Did you say Pilke?
Pilke is the lighting brand, and then we have a company behind it. Today it's Maze. It used to be a showroom Finland.
So, but Pilke is your, that's what you're, and you're the designer behind Pilke, and so Tuula and Tuukka, and you're the designer.
Yes.
Yeah. Is that a good introduction?
Yeah. That's fine.
Yeah. Okay. We've been talking now for 15 minutes, and I think it's a very Nordic thing now to finish off by doing skål in water. We're going to have some wine later. So yeah. Kiitos. Kippis.